Very good afternoon, students, and welcome to this first class of our lab of networks. So, today we are going to start with our experiment one, which is we'll talk about some understanding the working of followings, which include IP addresses. Then we'll talk about the Cisco IOS, which is Cisco packet tracer. Then we'll talk about some brief introduction about the some of the cables which are right now existing in our computer networks, including state cables and cross cables. And we'll talk about the connectors, including RJ45 connectors. And the fourth thing we'll talk about the layer 2 switches and then the router. After this introduction of the lab manual, we'll do some good hand-on practice on the Cisco packet tracer with the configuration of switches, and we'll see about the configuration of routers, that how we are going to configure a particular switch or a router in Cisco packet tracer. Now let's just get start to this particular first experiment, including the first thing we have to discuss, which is IP addresses. Now, as we have already discussed in our first theory lecture, that what is an IP address, that we have two different kind of IP addresses, two different kind of IP addressing, which is IPv4, IPv4 addressing, and we have IP v6 addressing. And I've already mentioned the reason why we are shifting to IPv4 from from IPv4 addressing to IPv6 addressing, as the more number of devices are going to be included in our real world, so we require more number of IP addresses, and the IP6 addressing is deemed sufficient for our requirement of providing the IP address to different devices. Now, first thing we'll talk about some of the again basics of IP addresses. That in a particular IP address, if we talk about IPv4, for example, this is the IP address mentioned here is, which is 192.168.1.11, and this IP address belongs to class C. Why it is belongs to class C? Because we have different classes in IPv addresses, and from the fact of value of the first octet, we can judge that which class this particular IP address belongs to. And for this, the binary representation has been mentioned here, that this is the representation we have already earlier discussed, that how we come across the conversion of this particular number into the binary. So IP address is the basically, if we talk in a crux, that it is required for a particular device to be recognized. For example, like human need names to be recognized. So in that way, the devices also need some names, which in the form of IP addresses. There is also one physical address required for device, which is known as the MAC address. That MAC address works in the layer 2 switches. Fine, so we'll discuss deep in when we talk about switches, that what is MAC address and what is the total number of bits required for that particular address. So the second item which is required for TCP to work is the subnet mask. Now here we can see that our 4 octets are there. In the 4 octets, among the 4 octets, 3 octets are to be considered as the network ID, and one is going to be the host ID of that particular IP address. So it will remain same for all the IP addresses whosoever belongs to IPv4. The first 3 octets will remain fixed for the network ID, and the last one will be the host ID, which can be changed. For example, if my first PC has IP address 192.168.1.1, the second PC can have 1.2, 1.2, and the starting octet will remain same, which is 192.168.1.2. This just basically means that these both devices belongs to same network, because their network ID is same. If the network IDs get changed, for example, here I get 192.168.2, that means that this particular network of this device belongs to some other network. For that communication to happen between the different networks, we need routers. Fine. And to make the connection happen in the same network, we require switches as well as hubs. So that is the a brief introduction about the IP addresses. We will see in the Cisco packet tracer that how you are going to provide an IP address to a particular device in a good efficient way. Fine. So moving to the next slide, then the second part which we have to discuss is Cisco IOS. Now Cisco IOS is a command line interface, fine, used by nearly all current Cisco routers and switches. It basically forms the inter-network operating system. It is a family of network operating system used on many Cisco system routers, current Cisco network switches. Earlier Cisco switches ran CAT OS. Here IOS is a package of routing switches, inter-networking and telecommunication functions integrated in a multitasking operating system. So all the iOS code base includes a cooperative multitasking kernel. Most iOS features have been posted to other kernels such as QNX and Linux for each in Cisco products. Fine. So we'll after this completion of the all the parts that up to E part, we'll switch to the actual working of the Cisco packet tracer. I'll show you the demonstration that how we are going to work with the Cisco packet tracer. Fine. So the third part which we have to cover is the state cables and the crossover cables and the RJ45 connectors. Now these are the cables which are categorized into the different cables. Like we have Cat5 cables, Cat5e cables, Cat6 cables, UTP cables. So they are unshielded twisted pair cables. Fine. We have already discussed in the first lecture that what are the different kinds of cables we have: straight over cable, crossover cable, twisted pair cables. So these cables are just being categorized into the different categories based upon their uh, functioning, based upon their cost, and based upon that what need I required for my communication to happen between different devices. So Cat5 UTP cable can support up to 10 or 100 Mbps Ethernet network, whereas Cat5 and Cat6 cables can support Ethernet network running at 10, 100 and 1000 Mbps. That means they are mostly being used in our networking. You might hear about Cat3 UTP cables earlier. It was not popular any it is not popular anymore since it can only speed 10 Mbps. But as being working in a computer network, we required more and more uh, we require more speed to access the data at a very faster rate. So we need very good cables with the low cost, so which can provide high speed like 100 or 1000 Mbps or more than that. For that, these cables are widely used. Then the and crossover cables can be Cat3, Cat5, Cat5e, Cat6 UTP cable. The only difference we have is wire arrangement, the arrangement of the cable for serving different purposes. Now we'll see that in this particular diagram that there are two differentiated cables I have represented here. The one is straight through cables and one is a crossover cable. And if we see very clearly that in the straight through cable, side one and the side, this is side one of the cable, this is side two of the cable, and in each and in both the sides the arrangement of the wires are same. That means if the first one is white orange, I can see here from this particular side, then comes the orange second number, then we have the white green, then we have the blue color. That means this pair of cable will remain the same in both the side, that if there is a white or it will be going to connect with the white orange, and then if on the second we have orange, then it is going to have pair with the orange. So that's how we have pair about it in the straight through cable, and that pair will be same in both the sides. Whereas when we talk about the crossover cable, if I focus more over this cable, and we can see that clearly that side 1 and side 2 cable have different pairs. For example, in side 1 we can see the first we have white orange, but on the other side of that crossover cable is the we have now white green. That means it has a pair of this and this. The second, it has orange color, in this case it has green color. So that's why these cables have a difference in their arrangement of wiring and difference in terms of their costing. And to connect the different devices, switches or routers or PCs or any other devices to which we have to share data, we need these cables, or if might be we have talked about the Ethernet cable. So that's how these representation are. And we have always seen that that Ethernet, we might have seen that in the cables of cat 5 or cat 5e or 6 cable, or we refer to as Ethernet cable. We have this a first portion in the cable, which are connectors basically required to connect to these devices. Fine. These are the general most general connector which is being used is RJ45 connector. And if we talk about the cables where they are being most widely used, that if I have to connect a particular switch in the router, we can use straight through cable. And if switch with the PC, we can use straight through cable. If we want to connect switch with the server, we can use this straight through cables. Then again the switches we can use. But when we talk about the we have to connect switch with the another switch, we require crossover cable. And the mode which is in between the switches, which is the trunk mode, always been there. Fine. And in between a switch and a PC, we have the access mode, we refer to it. We will discuss more it in the earlier class, that what is the access mode and what is the trunk mode. When data needs to be carried from one switch to the other switch, we require a trunk mode. And when data needs to be carried from a switch to a different PC, there will be the access mode. So on this we require different cables. Fine. And if I move next, which we have already talked, that we have RJ45 connected attached in at the end of the particular cable. So it is a registered Jack 45 standard type of physical connector for network cables. RJ45 connectors are most commonly seen with Ethernet cables networks. Modern Ethernet cable features small plastic plugs on each end that are inserted to RJ45 jacks of Ethernet. So that's all about the cables and the some of the connectors for it. The next thing we talk about is the switch layer 2, because switch works at the layer 2, which is data link layer. So it works with the MAC addresses. So a layer 2 switch is a type of network switch or device that works on data link layer. Fine. And utilize MAC address to determine the path through where the frames are to be forwarded. It uses hardware-based switching techniques to connect and transmit in a local area network. Now, routers, if we talk about the router are the more intelligent as compared to the switches, because switches generally have only a one broadcast domain, but it has multiple collision domain. That if two PCs or two devices are connecting with each other and sending some requests from one PC to PC to the other, if the other PC requests some data through that particular collision point, then it will not break down, result in the breakdown of the first communication. It will that communication will happen, which generally affect in case of hubs. Whereas in case of switches, but the thing is that it has only a one broadcast point, which means that it is very easy for a particular hacker to, if a hacker gets into your network, it will be easy for the hacker to get the access of that particular switch and get the data, whatever the transmission is being done from one device to another device or anywhere. Fine. So in this particular switch, we can see that we have different ports. Generally, we have different 8-port switches. We have 16-port switches. We'll have 24-port switches. We have 48-port switches. There are many ports switches available according to our requirement. So we can use according to it. And the most important thing is that if we want to make the communication happen in a particular network, we require switches. And if that communication have to be out of the network, we need routers, which are more intelligent because it has multiple collision domains, and it also have multiple broadcast domain. So router is a networking device which generally forward packet between computer network. Router perform the traffic directing on the internet, and the data sent through the internet, such as a web page or on an email, is in the form of data packets. And a packet is typically forwarded from one router to another router through the networks that constitute an internetwork, for example internet, and until it reaches its destination node. So these are the four types of RAMs available in the routers, which includes RAM, ROM, NVRAM, non-volatile, which is flash, which is also non-volatile. The ROM is also non-volatile, and the RAM is the one which is volatile. So these are the different types of memories available in routers. So when we configure a particular switch or a router, basically we have two different modes. Fine, I will see that one is the user access mode and other one is the privilege access mode. The privilege access mode by default allow all monitoring. We can monitor commands over here as well as execution, configuration, and management. For example, we see if if after the name of a particular switch or a router we have a hash, that means we are into the privilege access mode, where we can write a particular command. But when we are in user access mode, the symbol will be like this, greater than, and we cannot perform write any commands. First of all, to change any particular settings of a router, we have to switch from the access mode to the privilege access mode. That's how our requirement will be done. So I think we have covered all the introduction about this particular first experiment, that what required. So now I'll switch to the Cisco packet tracer, and I'll show you that how we are going to configure a particular router. Now before that, your task after the completion of the experiment will be your worksheet. That this worksheet you have to complete. I'll just share it. Fine. So in this worksheet you will have to download it from your Blackboard account, where you can write. You have to write your name. You have to write your branch, semester, subject, ID, and then the aim has already been described over here by me. So your task in detail has been mentioned here. So what you have to do, you have to complete this task, and you have to write all the details about your task, your observations, discussions, your result, output, summary. Fine. If any graphs or any kind of pictures you have for your lab manual, and you have to write down the learning outcomes, what you have learned from this particular experiment, and you have to complete the download this file from your account. You have to submit it by attaching the file at the below in your account, and after that I'll check it, and I'll allocate the marks to you, that how much you have scored from this worksheet. This worksheet will be of 10 marks. Fine. So I hope that you get the introduction about your experiment, that what you have to do and what you have to perform in your worksheet. So now I'll just switch to the Cisco packet tracer, and I'll demonstrate that what is Cisco packet tracer, how it look like, and we'll see that how we can configure a particular switch. Fine. Uh, I think I just have to open the Cisco packet tracer. Fine. So I'll open the Cisco packet tracer here. So I'll share my screen again with you, that how this Cisco packet tracer is going to be work. So it will just take 10 seconds to open. Fine. So I hope yet if anyone have any doubt till now, you can raise your hand, or you can post in your chat group. I'll be happy to share solve your queries. So if anyone has any doubt, you can raise your hand. Fine. So here comes the Cisco packet tracer. Fine. So that's how the interface of a Cisco packet tracer look like. So we'll walk through some basics of Cisco packet tracer. It is a very powerful tool for use for basically simulation. Fine. So it can be seen as an emulator. Fine. A network topology. It is a very powerful tool. Fine, that allows you to emulate a network topology, because we have talked about the different topologies in the first lecture, that we have the ring topology, mesh topology, because we have to do arrangement to make the connection. So we have to share it. So we have to but we cannot do physically, so we need a simulation software to implement that particular configure a particular switch or a particular router. So fine. So with this Cisco Packet Tracer, you do not actually require expensive internet networking or networking equipments to buy. This simulation software will help you to easy manage all the things without doing any kind of wiring for connecting your device. And at the end of lecture, you will be able to successfully configure a particular switch. So now let's just begin with some introduction. That first I'll show you that what is the version which I am using for this for packet tracer. So currently version is 7.2.1.0218. This Cisco packet tracer is being used, which is developed by the Cisco Network Academy. Fine. So you get it easily from the internet. You just have to download it and install it on your system so that you can perform the experiment with me also. And the second thing is, if you are not able to find it, you might can you have I have attached the link in the Blackboard account in the notes. From that you can you can get the link and you will be able to successfully download it from the internet. Right? So here it is the logical and the physical interface of our system. This is a physical interface that we have the different racks, or we can see the physically our home city or any kind of map which is being shown. Fine. And in this we have the logical structure where we'll be doing arrangement, where we'll be attaching the wires with our devices, and we'll configure the switches. At the bottom end here, we can see that we have the different we have these different devices available. The first is the networking devices, fine, which are different routers. We can see these are the routers listed here: 43211941. They have different ports. They have different fast Ethernet ports or gigabit Ethernet ports. Some have serial lines. Some has a DCT or DCE or DTE lines available. Fine. And then in the next we have different switches, 2960 PT switch, empty switches, where we can add some different ports to it, that how much port we want, we can configure it also. And these some of the list by default has been shown in the Cisco packet tracer. Fine. And we have hubs available here. We have wireless. We In the next option we have wireless devices available here. We have security devices available. We have the empty cloud available here, which is referred to as WAN emulation. So from these also end devices have been available, that if I want to connect different PCs or laptop servers to make a good beautiful network topology and that how this network is working. So this is a very powerful and a very good tool that will be helpful us to see that what actually we do with the switches without actually buying it or without the costing of wires. So let's just start by I taking a particular device. I'm going to take first of all a particular switch. Fine. I'm going to take this is 2960 switch, in which we can see that we have a 24 fast Ethernet port, 2 gigabit Ethernet port available, and we have a one very another port which is available, which is referred to as VLAN one. So this is basically a virtual LAN. Fine. And we can see that this is the MAC address of the each fast Ethernet port we have. We have the physical address of the device also referred to as MAC, and we have the MAC address of each particular port available here, with the which is first is 005.5E0D.1501.1502 listed up to down. So if I have to configure that particular, so first I'll click over here and I go to this particular mode. Here I can see the physical structure of my device, that there are number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 12 and 12 one. There that these are number of ports available, 24. And then we have two more, which is gigabit Ethernet ports available. Fine. The next tab we have is the configuration mode. Fine. In which we have the different ports available, and there are two things we can configure. I can either configure it from GUI interface, graphical user interface, which is this available. I can directly configure my switch from here. I do not have to commands. It will be pre-default mentioned here. I just need to make it on. That's how. The third one which we have interface, which is command line interface, on which we are actually going to work. As already mentioned in the manual, that hash with the name of the host and with hash, it basically means we are in the privilege mode where we are going to write the commands. And if we have just a greater than sign with the name, with my name of the host name of the device, that means I'm just in the user privilege mode where we cannot execute a particular command. For that we have to come to the privilege mode. Fine, so I just write exit and will be exit of my switch. So that's the first thing we'll see. And before that you also get to see the description about your switch, that how many total bytes or bytes used in that particular memory we are talking about, flash memory. Fine. Then it comes the software clause, the name, or where it is Cisco system INC 170 where is the address. And we'll see that the Cisco IT software to C2960 software version available of that particular switch, release software, copyrights. So all the necessary detail you will see here, that it has 24 fast Ethernet port, 2 gigabit Ethernet port, the base MAC address, the motherboard assembly number, the power part number. So all the necessary information of that particular switch will be available here. Fine. So now just we'll move to that. What are the different things which we are going to do here? Let me quickly write before that what we are going to what we are actually going to do. Fine. So I'll just share my screen and I'll write some points here what we have to do. The first thing which we have to do is the host name of our particular switch. The second thing which we have to do is we have to do the logon banner setting. It is just nothing. It is just that we have to provide a specific name whenever anybody enters that particular switch. It just show a particular message, that what we refer to logon banner, a banner message, which includes MOTD, which basically means the message of the day. We'll see how we are going to do this. Fine. So in the third number, what we have is we are going to do the console password. We have to set the console password. We'll see that why we need it when we configure the logon banner. After that, we'll see why we require the console password. The fourth thing what we have to do is the telnet password. So when if I talk about the telnetting just means the remote login access. That if I have to configure my particular switch, I do not need to go every time to the particular lab where the switch is being configured. I can just remotely access that particular switch from my PC by sitting anywhere in my particular building. The condition is I have to be connected to that particular switch in that particular network. And if my room where the switch is being configured is in the fourth floor and I am on the second floor, I can remotely access the particular switch and do all the settings. I do not need to go to the fourth floor. Fine. The fifth thing which we have to do is we have to set the enable password. When we do the telnetting, we'll also enable the password. Then after this we have the management IP. On the seventh one, we'll set the default gateway. Then on the eighth one, we'll see the shutdown commands. Then we'll see the negating commands. And then at the last, we'll say that how we are going to save all these commands, whatever we have done the configurations. Because whenever we boot a particular switch, all the settings are going to be removed. So we have to save all these commands. Otherwise, the next time you boot your system, you boot your switch, it will erase all the settings. So we have to save it. So we just, I think we are good to go with this particular session. We have discussed that what the things which we have to do. The second thing we also explained that the introduction about the Cisco packet tracer, the switch what are the things which we are going to configure on a particular switch. So we'll see in the second lecture that how we are going to configure the all the settings on a switch with the help of Cisco packet tracer. And if anybody have any doubt till now, you can raise your hand or send the message in the chat box. In the meantime, I'll create a poll quickly here. Fine. You all have to answer here, not in the chat box. You have to click in the for the poll, the right answer. Later, let's create a multiple choice poll. Yes or no poll choice. Fine. So is 192.168.256.10, is it a valid IP address? Yes or no, you have to mention it. Fine. So I'll just give quickly 10 seconds to answer it. Fine, you all have to answer it quickly. So I'll wait for 10 seconds. I'll count down. In the meantime, I'll count down from 10 to 1. Fine. So it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So fine. I think all the members have given their responses. So I'll lock this poll. The results are shown to me. Fine. So I'll just end this poll. So I hope you are clear with your doubts. Fine. Clear with all the concept. If you have any doubt, you can refer to the content which is being attached to your Blackboard account. You can see all the content related to the first experiment here. The demonstration video will be provided to you also, and this recording of the session will also be provided to you, that if somehow you didn't get a particular point, you will be able to get it easily. So thank you so much. So we'll see you all you in the next lecture, and where we are going to configure all the particular settings. Fine. I hope you are clear with it. So keep learning, keep growing. Thank you.